Are you sure this is your husband's shirt?" the dry cleaner asked, trembling as he held up a shirt that smelled of gasoline and had a bloodstain inside the collar. Susan froze. Her breath caught. She looked at the shirt again. Yes. It was the same brand, the same size. The one her husband wore the night he vanished. But how is that possible? She whispered. He disappeared 2 years ago. The dry cleaner's eyes widened. Someone dropped this shirt off yesterday. Chapter 1, A Quiet Life Pressed Flat. Susan Harris lived a quiet life in Vermont. She worked at a local library, walked her dog every morning, and tried to smile even though her heart had never healed from what happened 2 years ago. Her husband, Mark, vanished one rainy night. He had gone to get gas for the car. He never came back. Police had found his vehicle near the edge of a frozen lake. The door was open, but there was no body. Only his jacket lay on the driver's seat, clean, dry, untouched. It made no sense. People whispered. Maybe he ran away. Maybe he was depressed. Maybe he drowned. But Susan never believed it. Mark was strong, honest, loving. He never would have left her. That day, she entered the dry cleaner's shop with a few of her cardigans and noticed a familiar logo on the counter, a shirt folded neatly, waiting for pickup. She recognized the stitching, the fabric, the initials MH sewn inside the collar. And that's when the dry cleaner, Jack Milton, called her over. Chapter 2, The Shirt That Shouldn't Exist. Someone dropped this off yesterday? Susan asked, voice shaking. Yes, Jack replied. A guy, tall, grey hoodie, didn't say a word. Just handed it over. There's a stain near the collar I couldn't remove. I wasn't sure if it was dried blood or rust. He unwrapped the shirt. Susan stepped back. The scent of gasoline hit her, mixed with something else. Copper. Like dried blood. I don't know what this means, Jack said. But if you say your husband vanished 2 years ago and someone just now dropped off his shirt. Susan interrupted. Did you have a camera? Security footage? Jack hesitated. Yes, but it was unplugged that day. We were doing electrical maintenance. A sharp pain ran through Susan's chest. Of course. But that shirt was real. And it had returned for a reason. Chapter 3, A Stitch in Time. Susan took the shirt home and examined it for hours. There was a tiny tear under the left armpit. She remembered sewing that tear herself with blue thread during a road trip in Oregon. It was his. No question. And inside the breast pocket, tucked deep, almost hidden behind the lining, she found something hard, a button. Not a normal one. Brass. Engraved. It said, MH82TR. 82TR. A military code. A rune number. She rushed to her attic and pulled out Mark's old army box. He had served before they met and rarely talked about it. Inside was a map, dusty and folded. Vermont. But near the top was a red circle and a name. Train Ridge. Train Ridge was an abandoned freight station 20 miles outside town. Locals said it was haunted. No power. No people. Just rusted tracks and silence. That night, Susan couldn't sleep. By morning, she knew what she had to do. Chapter 4, Train Ridge. She borrowed her friend Claire's pickup truck and drove out to Train Ridge. Snow covered the tracks. The sky was a pale gray. Everything looked frozen in time. There were 2 old cabins near the tracks. One collapsed. The other stood tall but broken. Inside the standing cabin, it smelled of mold and smoke. On the wall was a calendar. The year was 2023. Mark vanished in 2023. The date circled. April 6th, the day he disappeared. She stepped deeper. Her boot hit something metal. She bent down. It was a gasoline can. And nearby, burnt rags. Like someone had tried to destroy something and failed. She heard movement. A breath. Behind her. She turned, no one. But she saw a boot print in the snow. Fresh. Recent. Chapter 5, A Stranger in the Snow. Susan backed out slowly and ran to the truck. She took out her phone. No signal. But just as she turned to climb in, she heard a whisper. Don't trust him. She spun. No one there. But the back window of the truck was fogged. Like someone had breathed on it. Then a face appeared, not in flesh, but in condensation. A familiar shape. Mark's face. She gasped. Then it vanished. The wind howled. And Susan realized she wasn't alone at Train Ridge and maybe never had been. Chapter 6, The Disappearance. Back home, she began digging. Mark's military record showed he served in Task Route 82. A special intelligence unit during Desert Storm. Classified files. But through a veterans forum, she found a man named Tom Reeds. One of Mark's old squad mates. She contacted him. What's this about? He asked on the call, voice rough. Susan explained everything, the shirt, Train Ridge, the blood. Tom was silent for a long time. Then said, your husband didn't vanish. He went undercover. What? He was investigating a black market arms operation. The kind that hides in towns like ours, laundromats, repair shops. Even dry cleaners. He said if anything happened, you'd find the shirt. Susan froze. Dry cleaner. Jack Milton. Chapter 7, The Man Behind the Press. Susan returned to the dry cleaner with a fake smile and asked to pick up her clothes. Jack smiled. Sure thing. While he turned around, she looked under the counter. A small security monitor turned on. The feed showed her face. Another angle showed the back room. And in that room was a black duffel bag. Military style. Jack returned. You all right? Susan smiled. Just tired. He stared too long. You look familiar. Did you ever work in surveillance? She laughed nervously. Me? No. But something in his eyes changed. Like he knew. Like he remembered. Chapter 8, Chasing Shadows. That night, Susan couldn't sleep. She called Tom again. He's involved, isn't he? She asked. Tom didn't answer at first. Then, yes. Jack was one of us. Until he switched sides. Why would Mark bring his shirt back here? Message. Warning. Maybe a signal. He must still be alive. Somewhere. But why now? After 2 years. Tom sighed. He might be running out of time. Chapter 9, The Hidden Room. Susan returned to the dry cleaner the next morning. Jack wasn't there. The teenager at the counter didn't know much. Jack's not working today. Family thing, he said. Susan waited till the kid went back to the steam room. Then she slipped behind the counter and found the door to the back room. Locked. But above the frame was a vent. She climbed on a chair and shined her phone light in. She saw boxes. And one open box. With folders. Names. Locations. Amounts. A ledger. And a photograph. Mark. Bound. Bruised. But alive. Chapter 10, The Escape. Susan took the picture to Tom. He stared. That's recent. His beard's longer. The scar is new. Where is he? Tom didn't answer. Then he whispered, I think I know where they are keeping him. Chapter 11, The Rescue. Train Ridge had an underground hatch, once used for transporting cold goods. It had been sealed for years. Tom and Susan went at night. The hatch was locked, rusted shut. But Tom, ex-military, brought bolt cutters. They went down the steps, flashlight in hand. A hallway. Cold. Damp. Then a door. Behind it, Mark. Tied to a chair. Pale. Weak. But alive. Susan. He croaked. She ran to him. He smiled. Then whispered, "It's not safe. He's coming." Chapter 12, The Return. They got him out. Jack was arrested 2 days later. The Ledger exposed a smuggling network across multiple towns. Mark survived. But the trauma stayed. The shirt, the one with blood, was real. Jack had dropped it off himself as a warning to Susan to stop digging. But she didn't. She pressed forward. And saved the man she loved. Epilogue, the pressed shirt. Susan never took the shirt to the cleaner again. She kept it in a box. Sealed. As a reminder. A reminder that sometimes the smallest clue, a thread, a button, a bloodstain, can change everything. And sometimes, even in the darkest corners, the truth finds a way to be pressed into the light.